Hello, fifth grade. Some of you were not able to make it to class today, so I thought I would do a quick review video of what we did in class so you'd have the opportunity to see and maybe perhaps do a couple of sentences on your own. You're welcome to email me those sentences and I will give you some feedback on those. Okay? So you'll see here at the top of the page, we have sensory linking verbs. What I did was I brought to class a few things. I know one student is not necessarily going to be very happy that I am bringing this back to class again, but if you don't like snakes, what you can do is just cover up your eyes and it magically disappears. So what I have here is some snake skin. Now, I didn't do this in class, so if you're listening, you get to hear. You can hear what the snake skin sounds like whenever I kind of squish it together. Okay. So we had some snake skin. I also brought a couple of arrowheads. Let's see if I bring this closer, then it'll focus on it close. So here is the arrowhead. I get some shine on there. You can see some better differentiation. This is made out of obsidian. It's a volcanic rock. You can see that this is actually hit with a hard stone, which creates, obsidian is known for conchoidal fractures, which means, I don't know if you can see here, see how it's circular? Look at that, just in time for Thanksgiving. It almost looks like some canned cranberry sauce that you would just shake out. That's the marker of a conchoidal fracture. This is another arrowhead, very different. I believe this is actually basalt rock, not as sharp. Obsidian is incredibly sharp. What's also really cool is for different eras, you can date using obsidian because obsidian has a very consistent absorption rate of water, which makes the edge less and less sharp. Right after it is fractured, it is incredibly sharp. So, very cool thing. You can also tell then how long it was around. The other thing I have, or I brought, was my geodes. You can see a geode is also volcanic rock. It's kind of a bubble that's formed in a volcano. And then you tap it open and there can be anything from calcite inside to amethyst, all sorts of other things. This does happen to be calcite. Here's one, a larger one that also had calcite. You can see it's very sparkly, very pretty. Okay, so these are the things that we brought to class. We all had the chance to make a sentence about these things. So I'm going to share a couple of sentences with you that were made in class. Okay, so the first one I am going to share is, the arrowhead seems very smooth. Okay, let's see. The arrowhead seems very smooth. Okay, this is a sentence and it is declarative. This sentence is about arrowhead. So arrowhead is the subject because it is what the sentence is about. This sentence tells us that arrowhead seems smooth. So seems smooth is the predicate because it is what the sentence tells us about the arrowhead. It is a predicate adjective because it gives us a quality of the arrowhead. Seems is a linking verb because it links the subject to the predicate adjective. Very tells us the degree of how smooth. So how, when, and where, how. This is actually an adverb. It's an adverbial element and it is modifying an adjective. It is an adverb. The is an adjective. Now, one of the other sentences we had is, the snake skin looks very small. The snake skin looks very small. Okay, this is a sentence and it is declarative. This sentence is about snakeskin. So snakeskin is the subject because it is what the sentence is about. This sentence tells us that snakeskin looks small. So looks small is the predicate because it is what the sentence tells us about snakeskin. It is a predicate adjective because it tells us the quality of snakeskin. Looks is a linking verb because it links the subject to the predicate. Very, again, this is an adverbial element because it modifies an adjective. It is an adverb. The is an adjective. Now, let me see if I can find one of my sentences, or not one of my sentences, one of your sentences that was made. Here we go. The geode appears shiny. Okay, this is a sentence. It is declarative. This sentence is about geode. So geode is a subject because it is what the sentence is about. This sentence tells us that geode appears shiny. So appears shiny is the predicate because it is what the sentence tells us about geode. It is a predicate adjective because it tells us the quality of geode. Appears is the linking verb because it links the subject to the predicate adjective. The is an adjective. Now, some of these words we discovered in class, it can be difficult because sometimes it's hard to think about how these words that we're so used to hearing as action verbs, so predicate verbs showing action, can be a linking verb. So let's work backwards here. I'm going to switch this last sentence. The geode appears shiny. Now, if this happy geode, if it was hidden and somehow Elf on a Shelf brought it out without me seeing it and gave it some sort of, I don't know, ability to appear and disappear, then I could say the geode appeared. Let's say we're watching. Watch this. I've got it. The geode. Oh, the geode appeared. Let's do this. Watch. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. The geode appeared. There it is. It appeared. That's an action. So geode would be the subject. Appeared would be the predicate, but it's a predicate verb because it shows action. I'm describing the fact that it's appeared. There it is. The is an adjective. We also did one that seemed to transcend classes. A couple of classes came up with this sentence. The snakeskin smelled disgusting. Okay, here we have snakeskin as the subject because it is what the sentence is about. Smelled is being used as the linking verb, the sensory linking verb to our predicate adjective disgusting. The is an adjective here. But The snakeskin is not doing the smelling. This is another way that we can tell it is a predicate adjective here and a linking verb here is the snakeskin is not completing the action of smelling. Now, I could say, I smelled the snakeskin. This changes it, right? Now smelled is an action because I is the subject. Smelled is a predicate verb. It's showing action. It's showing the action of me doing this. Don't worry, it's been autoclaved. So I smelled the snakeskin. I smelled what? This turns this into a direct object. It's an objective element because it completes the meaning of the action verb smelled. The is an adjective. So I want you to see the difference here between the two sentences. When we look at the verb smelled, the difference is how they're being used. So here, smelled, I am looking for a highlighter. Here, smelled is not actually doing anything. The snakeskin, which is the subject, is not doing any smelling. There's no action. This verb, its sole purpose is to link snakeskin with disgusting. And it links it in a way that is sensory through the senses. So could we replace this with one of our being verbs? Yes, we could say the snakeskin is disgusting. But that doesn't necessarily tell us why it's disgusting. Smelled gives us a specific reason why it's disgusting. Okay? If I say I smelled the snakeskin, now this is an action. This is something that is happening. I'm doing smelling. So that's our action verb, which we call a predicate verb. Okay. We also had a sentence about looks that did a very similar thing. So if I told you, I look at, the geode. Okay. I look at the geode. Or let's change it because I was the last one. He looks at the geode. Okay. The subject is he. What is he doing? He looks. So looks is a predicate, but it is a predicate verb because it shows action. He is doing the action of looking at something. It's a predicate verb. Okay. At the geode. I went out of order here, guys. It's a prepositional phrase. At is a preposition. Geode is the object of the preposition. The is an adjective. This tells us what he looks at. So this is an adverbial element because it modifies the verb. It's an adverbial prepositional phrase. Okay. So he looks at the geode. Okay. This is an action. Now, the other sentence we had was the geode looks. Oh, it was appears, but let's substitute looks. Looks shiny. Is the geode looking at anything? Does it have eyeballs? Can it possibly look at anything physically? No, it can't. So looks here is our linking verb, linking geode, the subject, to the predicate adjective, shiny. Okay. If I said she felt the arrowhead. Okay. And then I said the arrowhead felt sharp. Okay. So we have these two uses of the word felt. She felt. She is the subject. Okay. Felt tells us about that subject. It tells us what she did. So she felt. This is a predicate verb because it shows action. She is feeling something, or she felt something in the past tense. What did she feel? She felt arrowhead. So it receives that direct object as it completes the meaning of that action verb. It's an action verb. She felt arrowhead. Okay. Now, the arrowhead felt sharp. The subject here is arrowhead. Is the arrowhead feeling anything? No, it's not. When she feels the arrowhead, it feels sharp. So this sentence actually describes the quality of arrowhead. So felt is not an action here. Arrowhead is not doing anything. Felt is a linking verb, and it is linking to an adjective, a predicate adjective. It's part of the predicate here. Arrowhead felt sharp. Of course, the is an adjective. Now, if you have any question about how or why these ones here, this is showing action. This is showing action, okay? As opposed to this one, where this is linking and this is linking. Please come by Thursday, 2:30, and we can talk about it some more. But I hope you have a wonderful day today, and I will see you all soon. Bye-bye.